26 times One Piece predicted the future. We all know what a mastermind Oda is, since preparing 107 volumes of One Piece is no piece of cake, but some of you may have underestimated his genius. For the more intense weaves, the manga writer has used foreshadowing to hide quite a few breadcrumbs throughout the series, and once you go through this list, you'll be pulling your hair, wondering why you did not notice them sooner. Oh, and watch out for spoilers ahead. 1. Shanks' twin brother. Spoiler warning. In the early stages of One Piece, a subtle yet significant moment foreshadowed a major revelation about Shanks' lineage. During Shanks' visit to Whitebeard's ship, Whitebeard remarked that seeing Shanks' face made his old scar ache.
Just looking at your face makes the scar that bastard gave me ache all over again.
Initially, fans speculated that this discomfort was linked to a battle between Shanks and Whitebeard that might have been long time ago. However, recent developments suggest a different interpretation. In chapter 1138, the revelation of Figureland Shamrock, Shanks' twin brother, provides a compelling explanation. It's plausible that Whitebeard's scar ached not because of Shanks himself, but due to a past encounter/battle with Shamrock, whose identical appearance to Shanks would naturally trigger such a reaction. This subtle interaction hinted at the existence of Shanks' twin long before his official introduction, showcasing Oda's masterful foreshadowing. 2. Blackbeard's first meeting with Luffy. Like for instance, when Luffy meets Blackbeard in Muktown during the Jaya arc, their interaction subtly foreshadows future events. Blackbeard's declaration, "A man's dream will never die," highlights his ambitious nature and parallels the story's theme of freedom. Luffy and Zoro's strange sense that Blackbeard is not just one man hints at his unique body, later revealed to wield multiple devil fruits. This encounter also establishes a rivalry of ideologies, with Blackbeard's cunning and ambition contrasting Luffy's carefree pursuit of dreams. Though seemingly casual, this meeting lays the groundwork for Blackbeard's role as a major antagonist and rival for the Pirate King title. 3. Kaido's dragon form. Next up, Oda masterfully foreshadowed Kaido's dragon form long before its reveal in the Wano arc. The most notable hint appears in chapter 795, where Kaido is introduced by falling from the sky onto Kid's base. His title as the strongest creature in the world, and his near immortality sparks speculation about his inhuman nature. Additionally, his association with the Beast Pirates and the presence of Zone Devil Fruits in his crew hint at an animalistic transformation. The biggest clue comes in Punk Hazard, where a dragon guards Caesar's lab. Its design resembles Kaido's dragon form, subtly planting the idea of a Dragon Zone user. Moreover, Momonosuke's artificial dragon form foreshadows Kaido's mythical zone ability as the Azura Dragon. These breadcrumbs scattered throughout the story build anticipation for Kaido's transformation, showcasing Oda's skill in hiding hints within the narrative. 4. Boa Hancock and Shirahoshi foreshadowed in Thriller Bark. Meanwhile, in the Thriller Bark arc, Oda subtly foreshadows the existence of Boa Hancock and Shirahoshi during a conversation between Sanji and Lola. Lola mentions that Sanji's true love could be among the beautiful women of the Grand Line, specifically referring to a beautiful empress and princess of the sea. These descriptions directly point to Boa Hancock, the pirate empress, and Shirahoshi, the mermaid princess, who play significant roles later in the series. This moment, though seemingly a throwaway line, highlights Oda's careful planning. Boa Hancock is introduced in the Amazon Lily arc as one of the Shichibukai, while Shirahoshi is revealed in the Fishman Island arc as Poseidon, one of the ancient weapons. 5. Crocus foreshadowing Luffy as Roger's successor. Fourth on our list is when during the Reverse Mountain arc, Crocus hints at Luffy's connections to Gol D. Roger. After observing Luffy's carefree yet determined nature, Crocus states that someone like him is whom Roger has been waiting for.
あいつらが我々の待ち望んだ海賊たちなのだろうか。なんとも不思議な空気を持つ男だ。ああ、ロジャーよ。
At the time, this remark seems vague, but it foreshadows Luffy's role as Roger's spiritual successor and the one destined to fulfill the Pirate King's legacy. This moment gains greater significance as the story progresses. Luffy not only shares Roger's adventurous spirit and unshakable resolve, but also inherits his will. The concept of the Will of D, central to the series, is closely tied to both Luffy and Roger, symbolizing their shared destiny to bring about a new era. Crocus's comment, while brief, is a profound piece of foreshadowing that highlights Luffy's importance in the grand narrative of One Piece. 6. The Straw Hat and Mary Joyce. One Piece has its share of mysteries, as well, such as during the Reverie arc. A shocking panel shows a massive straw hat hidden in the depths of Mary Joyce, preserved in an icy chamber. This raises countless questions. Why is the hat so large? Does it belong to Joy Boy, a giant, or someone else? This image foreshadows the deep connection between Luffy's straw hat and the overarching history of the world. It also hints at the connection between Joy Boy's legacy and the current rulers of the world, setting up future revelations about the Void Century. 7. Enel's space exploration. Enel's cover story, which depicts his journey to the moon, initially seems like a fun side story unrelated to the main plot. However, it foreshadows the existence of advanced civilizations and extraterrestrial life in One Piece. This ties into the lore surrounding the Lunarians, an ancient race connected to the Void Century, and hints at the possible origins of devil fruits, suggesting they may have a connection to celestial bodies. 8. Dr. Hiriluk's Cherry Blossoms and Chopper's Dream. Dr. Hiriluk's belief that cherry blossoms can cure any illness might seem like a quirky dream, but it foreshadows Chopper's journey.
You're going to become a great doctor. I'll make sure of it.
Chopper's goal of curing every disease reflects the same optimism that Hiriluk had. Additionally, Hiriluk's cherry blossoms became a literal beacon of hope when they bloom on Drum Island, symbolizing the Doctor's legacy.
And do it! I can make cherry blossoms bloom on this winter island!
And inspiring Chopper's resolve. This moment also subtly ties into the broader theme of inherited will, as Chopper carries forward Hiriluk's dream of helping people. 9. Luffy's grandfather. Before Enies Lobby, not much was known about Luffy's family outside of his brother Ace. The only hint readers had was a cryptic comment by the Marine Admiral Aokiji about a debt he owed Luffy's grandfather. When Luffy and the Straw Hats first encountered Aokiji on Long Ring Long Land in chapter 318, he curiously mentioned that Luffy was just like his grandfather and mentioned the debt he owed. However, after Enies Lobby, it was revealed that Luffy's grandfather is actually the Vice Admiral Monkey D. Garp, who up until that point had only appeared in cover stories as a mentor to Kobe and Helmeppo. Garp has become a very important character as One Piece went on, so it is cool that his unexpected relationship with Luffy was referenced before his official introduction. Number 10. Luffy and the Sun God Nika. During the climactic fight of Wano, it is revealed that Luffy's devil fruit isn't actually the Gum Gum fruit, but the mythical human fruit model, Nika, which gives him the powers of the sun god, Nika. This twist might seem like it comes out of nowhere, but it was actually foreshadowed back in Skypiea. This is where the sun god is first mentioned in a flashback to the ancient Shandians, but it also draws direct parallels between Luffy and the sun god. In chapter 279, when Luffy disrupts Enel's giant cloud of electricity, the sky opens up with him in the center as Skypiea prays to let the sun shine. In addition, looking towards chapter 300, when Luffy dances at a bonfire later in the arc, his silhouette appears much like the silhouette of Nika displayed later. 11. The importance of Laugh-Tale. The island Laugh-Tale is first mentioned by Gul D. Roger during his journey to the end of the Grand Line. Its mysterious name and connection to the One Piece foreshadow the revelation that the treasure is not just a physical prize, but something that could reshape the world's understanding of history. The name itself hints at the idea that the world's truth is both tragic and comical, aligning with the series' themes of freedom and adventure. 12. Momonosuke and the Akazaya Samurai being from the past. One of the biggest plot twists of the Wano arc was the revelation that Momonosuke, Kanjuro, Raizo, and Kinemon had traveled into the future from 20 years ago. The big reveal took place well into the Wano arc when the Straw Hats discovered the old graves at Kuri, and it was quite a shock to learn that time travel existed in One Piece. The Akazaya and Momonosuke only showed one sign of being from the past until the big reveal, which is in Zou. When talking about Gall D. Roger and the fact that Oda has sailed with him, Momonosuke mentioned having met Roger, which should have been impossible given that Momonosuke was only 8 years old and that Roger had been dead for, well, over 24 years. Despite this clear inconsistency, the concept of time travel crossed the minds of very few, making this yet another genius instance of foreshadowing in One Piece. 13. Ace's Vivric card. During the events of the Alabasta arc, Ace gave his Vivric card to Luffy and told him that the paper will eventually bring the two together. After the Thriller Bark arc, Luffy noticed his Vivric card was burning up, meaning Ace wasn't well. In Amazon Lily, he was finally told that Ace was captured and that he would eventually be executed. The paper set Luffy up on the adventure to get to Ace, and the seeds for this were planted long before the arc was even touched upon. 14. Sinking of the World. Crocus is a former member of the Roger Pirates, and as a result, his connection with the Pirate King Roger implies that he has significant knowledge about the world's true history and ancient weapons. His decision to reside inside Laboon, a giant whale, suggests a deeper connection to the ocean and its mysteries. Crocus' living arrangement inside Laboon was established very early in the series, in Chapter 46. Recently, Vegapunk's revelation about the world potentially sinking has a strong connection to why Crocus might have chosen to live inside a whale. At the same time, a more practical explanation for Crocus living inside Laboon is to treat the whale's health issues. However, the reason revealed by Vegapunk changes the idea behind Crocus' weird living arrangements, suggesting that there is more to it than just taking care of the whale. Perhaps it could simply be a way for him to comfortably navigate the vast ocean alongside the whale when the world sinks. 15. Sanji's wanted poster in Eni's lobby. Sanji's first wanted poster humorously uses a poorly drawn sketch instead of his real face in Chapter 43 of One Piece. This seemingly random joke foreshadows Duval, a character introduced in the Sabaody Archipelago arc, whose real face matches the sketch. This clever detail highlights Oda's long-term storytelling and his ability to turn small gags into important plot points. 16. Arlong mentioning Jinbe. During the Arlong Park arc in Chapter 69, Arlong casually mentions Jinbe, the Sun Pirates captain and a warlord of the sea. At the time, Jinbe is not shown, but this foreshadows his eventual introduction in the Impel Down arc and his deep connection to Fishman Island and Luffy's journey. 17. Ace's warning about Blackbeard. Ace warns Luffy about a dangerous pirate named Blackbeard during the Alabasta arc, foreshadowing Blackbeard's betrayal of the Whitebeard pirates and rise as a major antagonist. This moment subtly sets up Blackbeard's future conflict with Luffy and the Straw Hats. 18. Usopp's dream of Elbaf. Usopp's fascination with giants and his dream of visiting Elbaf is mentioned multiple times early in the series. This foreshadows the future arc centered on Elbaf, where Usopp is expected to have significant character growth, fulfilling his ambition to become a brave warrior of the sea. 19. Rayleigh's foreshadowing of Luffy's potential. Oda has outdone himself here. Rayleigh's introduction in the Sabaody Archipelago arc foreshadows Luffy's destiny as the next great figure to change the world. As Goldie Roger's right-hand man, Rayleigh sees in Luffy the same traits that define Roger.
His spirit lives on in him.
And ever since, I've always wanted to meet you, Luffy, and see the spirited boy for myself.
Charisma, determination, and the ability to inspire others. When Riley asks Luffy if he wants to know the secrets of the world, Luffy declines, stating he wants to experience the journey himself. This equals Roger's own philosophy and foreshadows Luffy's role as the one to discover the truth of the Void Century. Rayleigh's decision to train Luffy during the time skip also emphasizes his belief in Luffy's potential. His teachings, particularly mastery of Haki, prepare Luffy for the challenges of the New World and the battles against the Emperors. Rayleigh's calm wisdom and connection to Roger serve as a narrative bridge, signaling Luffy's rise as the inheritor of the Pirate King's legacy. 20. Nami's Clam Attack. Let us focus on some of the members of the Straw Hat Pirates now. When Nami first receives a clam attack from Usopp, it appears as a waste of a weapon. However, this foreshadows her mastery of weather manipulation, showcased in battles like Alabasta and Wano. Nami's connection to weather strengthens her role as a Straw Hat's skilled navigator and formidable fighter. 21. Robin's knowledge of the ancient weapons. Robin's fascination with the poneglyphs early in the series foreshadows her key role in uncovering the truth about the ancient weapons and the Void Century. Her knowledge ties her directly to the grand narrative of One Piece and the secrets of the world. 22. Doflamingo's speech in his cell. After his defeat in the Dressrosa arc, Doflamingo delivers a cryptic and chilling speech.
I have a message for you to give the Celestial Dragons in Marie Joie. Tell them they will be dragged from their gilded halls. It's been 25 years since Gold Roger conquered the Grand Line, and no one's done it since. His rival Whitebeard stood before the throne, but met his end having never sat upon it. So what happens now, you think? There are more pirates running wild out there than ever before, but there's just one empty seat.
While imprisoned in Impel Down, he warns that a massive power struggle will erupt over the Throne Wars to control the One Piece, with the Celestial Dragons, pirates, marines, and revolutionaries all clashing. This speech foreshadows the chaos that unfolds in the Wano arc, and even beyond, as alliances between emperors and betrayals among powerful factions start reshaping the world. 23. Mention of Haki. This powerful technique was named and explained later in the series, somewhere in Marineford, but it is actually foreshadowed in the very first chapter. Shanks uses and conquers Haki to scare that Sea King. And the very first foreshadowing of observation Haki was through Zoro way back in Alabasta, when he's in a duel with Mr. One. The armament Haki one is when Garp hits Luffy with just his fingers, but Luffy screams in pain, even though he's immune to physical attacks. 24. Gol D. Rogers' final words during his execution. Gol D. Rogers' final words during his execution in Locktown are a pivotal moment in One Piece history. As he faces death, Roger declares that the treasure he left in the Grand Line, the One Piece, is real, challenging the world to pursue it. This moment foreshadows the Great Pirate Age that follows, igniting the Great Pirate Era. Roger's words inspired countless pirates, including Luffy, to seek the One Piece and fulfill Roger's dream. Roger's death also foreshadows the idea of inheriting wills, a theme that runs throughout the series. Luffy's journey and the legacy of the Will of D directly connects to Roger's final statement. I did a special video about this incident and how this was a foreshadowing of the world sinking. Check it out at the end of this video. 25. Road in chapter 1129. If anyone still has doubts about claims that One Piece is the GOAT of animes, let me talk about this insane form of foreshadowing that Oda used. This character is the vice captain of New Giant Pirates, Road, who appeared in Hajurin's cover story in chapter 898, titled I Will Return, and the recently released chapter 1129, it is revealed that the fake sun god is Road. Talk about crazy. 26. Kuzan on the Titanic. Lastly, Kuzan, the former admiral and fleet admiral candidate, wields the Chili Chili, or Ice Logia fruit, after losing to Akainu. He leaves the world government to join Blackbeard's crew as the Titanic captain. Now, if you put that into context, Kuzan will probably play a major role in the downfall of Blackbeard. Or if you like a type of play on words, you could say Kuzan will be the iceberg that sinks the Titanic. If this foreshadowing comes true, Oda hands down becomes the greatest writer of all time. Period. That's it for today's video, folks. Let us know in the comments if you would have added any other examples of how the great anime mind Oda predicted the future in the series. Check out this video where I found some more foreshadowings. And most of all, don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button.